What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So for all the guys out there reminding Samson, the reigning Olympia champion, that he doesn't need more size, the thing is he knows that better than all of us. And this right here is the perfect response on what his priorities are for this upcoming Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, what are the improvement points for this Olympia? Man, I only got one left, man. We've improved on every single thing that they've ever been sort of picked out on us, from growing our back, shoulders, more size, all that. So we just got our conditions put in again, and that's it. So for us, this is a very, very straightforward Olympia. So yeah, just bring it in and that's it.
And that is to get absolutely shredded and bring a level of conditioning that we have never seen on him before. And if he is successful in accomplishing that, he's gonna be a very difficult champion to dethrone, because the man is just way ahead of everyone, especially in that size department in that entire first call out. So the man literally picked a weak body part every single year and he worked on that, and he made very noticeable improvements in that area year after year. And the most surprising one, that was his back and those overall improvements that he was able to make in that area, especially the back lat spread. That has become one of the strongest shots for him. So all Samson is doing right now is improving his physique. He is trying to bring out more detail and more separation everywhere. And this is the aspect of bodybuilding where he kind of lacks at this point. So his former coach Milo Sorsev, he used to say that Samson can never get into that Hadi Choopan-like conditioning. He simply doesn't have the skin texture and the genetics that a guy like Hadi Choopan or the Mutant has. But he did close that gap last year at the Olympia when he won the whole damn thing. So that one thing that makes Samson the most dangerous bodybuilder on the Olympia stage is that there is not a single shot out of those 8 mandatories in which he just blows away the entire competition. But at the same time, there isn't even a single weak pose on him. And the fact is the same cannot be said for guys like Derek or Nick. Now Samson is in good spirits and he has been working on all the aspects of bodybuilding, from training to posing to dieting to making sure that he comes in absolutely ripped. So the question is, will he bring the condition that the judges want to see on him, something we have never seen on him before, and close that conditioning gap between him and the other top guys? So let me know what you guys think. Will Samson successfully defend his Olympia title? Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So the official Texas Pro competitors list, that is now out. So a total of 26 guys in that list. Carrot Baggio, the former 212 Olympia competitor, he's doing the men's open here. So we have some very familiar names in there, like Patrick Moore, Amir, Quinton, Jordan Hutchinson, John Jewett, Bruno Santos, Peng Yun Long, Justin Shire, and how can we forget Joe the Machine, also known as Joseph Palacios, the star from Tampa Pro, who came out of nowhere. And he ended up beating 4 former Olympians, including John Jewett too, who looked phenomenal at Tampa Pro. But can we all agree that this is gonna be a rematch between Jordan Hutchinson and Quinton Beastwood? And now that Jordan is already done with his first pro win, which by the way was a very well-deserved victory, he isn't gonna be under any kind of pressure here. But that being said, we want Quinton Beastwood to win Texas Pro so that he can finally step on the biggest bodybuilding stage 6 years after turning pro. So the hype of this guy right now is at its all-time high. And it isn't the first time he's being compared to the great Andrew Jack, as they are both of similar heights, and both of these guys share some traits which are very similar, like the aesthetics, the shape, the flow. That being said, I think Jordan has the ability to come in even harder and even drier than what we saw at Tampa Pro and make it 2 for 2. So the physique updates that he posted today, they are already telling us that he's gonna beat his Tampa Pro package. So Quinton and Jordan, they're literally like apples versus oranges at this point. It's gonna come down to the judges one more time and what's their preference, as Jordan was ahead of Quinton even at the prejudging, before Quinton even faded. So Texas and Tampa, they are becoming one of the biggest shows of the year.
I'm not done I will be back. I will be better than I've ever been before, and I will be doing it in a way that's sustainable.
So Hunter Labrada gives an update regarding his shoulder surgery and how he feels so motivated to start pushing numbers in the gym and get ready to make a great comeback. So this shoulder surgery was due for quite some years. But because of the pressure of competing every year, he had to postpone it, as Hunter is one of those guys who hasn't taken any kind of break since 2021. So this is Hunter's look. 7 weeks post-surgery. And for a guy who was off gear and the PEDs, for most part of this year, Hunter somehow managed to maintain a lot of his size. And that is gonna play massively in his favor when he jumps back on the protocol.
I have finally gotten the shoulder procedure that I've needed probably for 3 years now. I had that done. It was a successful surgery. I'm in the midst of rehabbing it right now. The range of motion and pain is actually better than it was before surgery already.
Now I know he isn't as lean as the man normally is, but he hasn't really started the push phase for this off-season. And I am positive if Hunter is given the green light to start pushing as much as he possibly can, as he likes to do in the coming months, he surely is gonna do the Arnold Ohio next year. And that is going to be a great stage to make his comeback, as he hasn't done that since he became a pro. And his body is gonna fire up very differently this time when he finally jumps back on the juice. Because his receptors this time, they're gonna be very fresh. So lots of people out there underestimated Hunter without realizing that he was ahead of Andrew Jagged last year at the prejudging when he did the Olympia. So there are definitely margins in terms of the improvements for him, especially from the conditioning perspective. But that being said, the man has gotten a lot better since 2021. His physique from back in 2021 at the Olympia versus what we saw last year, they were two totally different bodybuilders. Now that being said, the competition, that has also gotten way better in the last 3 years or so. So Hunter is gonna have to bring something special and come in at his all-time best to get back into that Olympia top 5. The time for Sergio Oliva Jr. to step back on the stage, that is coming near, as most probably he's gonna be doing either Italy Pro or Europa Pro Germany. And those are the two shows scheduled after this weekend, after Texas Pro. That means there will be some guys from Tampa and Texas who are looking for their Olympia qualification. They will also be going for those European shows, not just to place better, but potentially fight for the win there. So those shows aren't gonna be easy either for Sergio Oliva Jr. to win. But that being said, he was given a lot of feedback, and positive feedback, after his comeback at FIBO Germany. And he was 100% satisfied with the look that he was able to bring with Stefan as his coach. And Sergio has been grinding very hard since FIBO Germany this year. So the improvements that the judges are looking forward to see on him, they are gonna be on his back and in his chest, as those were the two major lagging areas when he made his comeback after that shoulder surgery. Now, the good thing was that his waist appeared way better in FIBO Germany compared to some of his previous showings, as the man is now in his 40s. When we see most of these bodybuilders, they start to lose that X-frame because of the widening of the waistline. Now, it has been said many times before that this might be Sergio's last shot at his Olympia qualification, considering his age, as well as the level of competition, which just keeps on getting better and better with every passing year. So Brett Wilkin looking absolutely brutal, less than 10 weeks out of his Olympia debut. So that right there is a very complete side chest. So the biggest challenge for Brett for his Olympia debut, as he gets deeper and deeper into this prep, that is gonna be holding on to all that muscle, all that pop, while getting that grainy hard conditioning and bringing out the detail, the kind of conditioning that he is always known for. So many people out there, they are sleeping on Brett, but we have to keep in mind, the man has been going all out in terms of his training since winning the Legion Sports last year. And this might be one very impressive transformation from last year to this year. And honestly, none of us would be slightly surprised if Brett decides to do a pre-Olympia show as a warm-up, because he has nothing to lose and the man is looking way too lean for 10 weeks out anyway. And they can test their peak before the Olympia one time, get some valuable feedback from the judges and some data to make sure he brings an even better package and he shows up 100% for his Olympia debut. So he is looking considerably bigger than some of his past preps. More size, more overall width, more density everywhere, but with that same small waistline that he normally has. So one of the few guys in the men's open bodybuilding who trains with that old school training style, with his training partner Martin Fitzwater. And this is being reflected on Brett's physique as well. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.